Hello, welcome back again. This is the video training, the online video training of deprogramming part 2, Heal Others. And I'll show you the Dutch cover. It looks like this. It has a modern look. Because why? Well, yes. In part 1 we worked on old stuff, real old stuff. And now we're actually more working in the here and now. And part 3, heal yourself, heal your potential, is even more futuristical and it's more energetic. That's why it's a transparent look. You can see the inside. It's more about energy, and this is really about getting your life going, being the best you, living your best life. So you need a good lock. This one probably won't do it anymore, but this one does. So the images on the books were not chosen randomly. They have a purpose as well. I'm very glad you're here. This means that you have at least read and done the first book. So, part 1, Heal Yourself. You've watched the video, probably. I think so. I hope so, because it's very, very complete. Of course, before doing these videos in English, I had to watch them all again. I've been, for the last few days, it's about, we're now in the beginning of 2026, and I wrote the books at the end December of 22. So it's a little bit over 4 years that I made all the material and all the videos. And right now I'm in Dutch, and now I'm translating everything to English. So yesterday I finished the what's the word? If you write a book, you have to read it again and again and again. That's what I finished yesterday. So I made the final PDF, which will be the inside of the new book, the second book. And today I watched the video in Dutch, which I liked very much. I don't know if I'll be that funny in English, but I was really funny in Dutch. I had myself laughing quite some time. Let's see if the funniness can come into this video as well, because humorism is a very good thing to make things light and lose the dread and the heaviness. And we learn easily when we are amused. So I've been doing all this reading and watching the last week, and which led me to the translation of the 2 books. And I already made the first video, and this is the second. And I guess you have read the book, watched the first video, and maybe you're not doing this at all in 2026, but in 2040, who knows? Maybe I will not look like this, but like a goddess of 22, because I'm aging backwards. You can do it too. You can do a balance on it. So today we're going to be working on this one, and it's called Heal Others. But before we do that, we're going through the technique, and all the technique you're going to be doing on yourself. And when you're confident and you feel balanced, and you feel that if someone else is out of balance, they will not throw you out of whack, you can then work with other people and start with nice people, kind people, people that you trust, people that you feel confident with. So you never worry about like muscle testing, because that's what we're going to do. So the big difference between this book and the first book, here we worked on intuition, and we worked with deprogramming cross, and we had opportunity to find the root cause in other moments than the now moment. So we could be in this life and go forward, or this life and go backward, as much as even birth, pregnancy, conception and preconception. But we could also go into generations. Generation of your mum, I have that above the line, and generation of your father, I have that underneath the line, and then you count backwards, and then you say it was a man or a woman. But you can feel it. It's intuition. We can go forward. We can test generations forward. So I have 3 children. I can test through my children how many generations forward, so I know if it will be their grandchildren or their grandchildren, or maybe it's even 10 generations ahead. And if we go to the lower part of the cross, of course, the cross, or in Dutch, and this is in English. Here we watch in life, so this is lives back and this is lives forward, and we just count, and we feel if we are a woman or a man, and sometimes we are not. We're a being that has no gender. So say you're a tree. Trees are male and female, but like slugs, they're, oh gosh, how do you say this in English? Hermaphrodite? Hermaphrodite? I don't know how you say this. They have 2 genders. So you go back lives or forward, and you test, or you feel if you're a man or a woman, and that's probably the only information you have, unless you're very sensitive or very psychic or very like clairvoyant. Then you might get images, and then you know, now, wow, this was quite the time. I understand why I have this root cause trauma underneath my trigger. So that's what we did in deprogramming. And of course we started every balance with the pace, and I want to start with the pace with you. And a reminder again, if you like reading, if you like structure, the books are very structured. They're actually like the textbook to this training. If I would be giving live trainings, you would come and I would teach you what I'm teaching you now in front of the camera, and this would be, or this would be like your handbook to read back, like, oh yeah, what's the structure of this? How do I test this? So for the people that are more left-brained and who need structure and a sequence, read the books and use them a lot. For the people that are more kinesthetic, or like I am when I'm teaching, I am very intuitive, so I feel what is needed in the moment, and that to a left-brained person may look like chaos, but it's actually not. I'm following the flow, and you get exactly the right thing in the right moment. And feel whatever is best for you. This video, you can watch it in one time. You can fall asleep and listen to it very softly. You can choose, if you're very structured, to see it in a couple of days and see a couple of balances, and then just pause and practice for yourself. You can watch it now, start working with it, and come back in a month and watch it again, and you'll notice something. I will have changed. I will say different things. I will have added different balances and new insights. It's very, very interesting when you watch a video back or when you read a book back. You always get different information, exactly the right information that you need in that moment. So you may trust that process. Another way of working with the material is doing it like this. It's like working with a card deck. You just have the page full open, and here it says fears of fear. And then you start working on fears. Maybe that's what I will start with. Because now we were going to do the pace. Because you will probably hear me better when we do the pace. Another thing I need to tell you, we have some support. I have support from my crystals. This one I have always laying down on my schoot, which is on my lap. Completely different word. And this one is the highest crystal in the Kristalstad, in the crystalline city. And it helps us to make this a very good video with very good energy, so that we all learn and grow and go to very beautiful heights. If you don't feel like doing the balances but just want to feel good, you can watch the video as well. I always try to do this when I'm in my best possible energy. And today we have the weather gods working with us. I'm in Brittany, France, and we've had 2 days of hurricane-like weather. The bus was doing this. I could not have filmed. You would have been seasick. But today it's much more quiet and there's sun. So that's why we have this beautiful light. I'm very happy. And my nervous system is very happy too. That we can calm down now. So I have 2 crystals. I have a card with the 12 crystals on it. That's lying in front of me. And the 12 codes of the crystalline matrix. Maybe we'll work with it today. I had to put it on the table. So if not, this is just like a reminder to you. I'll go to selfenizer.com, go to trainings, and there you'll find an online course where I work with you with the Kristalstad, so the crystalline city, and the crystalline matrix. It's called Crystalline Matrix Masterclass. It's in English, and I will explain how you can, it's actually this one, how you can work with this beautiful material. And the other thing is, of course, I watched my video of 4 years ago, and there was a beautiful, how do you say this, creature in that video that now is no longer amongst us. She died last year, and her name is Jane. I'm actually here very close to where she's buried. So I say hi every day. But a friend a few weeks ago gave me this. Look. So I won't be so sad that I have to miss Jane, but now I have a dog with me. So this dog actually goes where I go. It's watching me when I'm driving. And Jane was not allowed. She would sleep on the floor. But this one actually goes with me into my bed. So you might stop the video now because you think I'm crazy. But this is how I roll, guys. This is our support dog for right now. And she actually gives a lot of love. And maybe when Jane comes back to me, she will look a little bit like this. She used to look like a beagle, so she was more white with brownish and some black. And this looks pretty black and white. So we'll see. And if you're curious, of course, when I wrote this series, I had written 6 books before that. So this was 7, 8, and 9. Now I've written 14 books because things have happened. And my last book up till now is called Who is the Boss? And it's with Jane. Jane on the cover. I have my books there. I cannot get there. So you can have a look there. So look at the English books and you'll find it. It's very nice. It's about dominancy, and it's also about that your dog obeys, because a dog can hurt or get itself into trouble or hurt itself. So it's nice when your dog does what you want it to do, when you've trained it well. And it's a story told by all the dogs in my life, because I've had dogs my whole life. So it's it's a beautiful story. It makes you laugh, and it's a little bit sentimental, but not so much. And it's also about living a healthy life with your dog without any vets or injections or I think it's quite interesting. Just have a look. We were going to do the pace. You see, once I start talking, have some water and put an intention that with 2 hands, putting the water into the light and having it being blessed by the Most High, the Divine. So this water will feed us, clean us, enlighten us, give us the energy we need. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the intention also is that it will be so easy and so nice to work with deprogramming part 2, Healothers. Very good. Hey, I'm being alarmed. My name Merel means blackbird in English, and I just heard a blackbird giving its alarm sign. So I'll have a look. I think there's a car coming. And my nose itches. So very often that means be alert energetically. So of course I have my crystals, and I'll ask my angels and the divine to protect us in this video, to be in the best possible energy, and that we are safe. Okay, there we go. Thank you, brother or nephew. I just saw him fly away. It was a black one. The female ones are brown. Second part of the pace. We find the dents under the collarbones and we massage. The other hand is on the navel or on the belly button. If you want, you can have your eyes slide to the left. This is my left. And slide to the right. And do this in a horizontal plane a couple of times. So your eyes will get out of stress. Because when they're stressed, they're looking very widely, almost behind us, like a horse, to see where the danger is coming from. We just had the signal, so. Ooh, change hands. Massage. Other hand on the belly button. Look left, look right. If it's hard for you to do this with your eyes, make a cross of your fingers and do this. Move in the horizontal plane while you're massaging with the other hand and follow with your eyes. Very good. Now we're going to do a little cross crawl. For me, very little. And if you like, you may stand up. So we're going to do a marching on the place. You can hear my feet. And my feet are moving opposite to my arms. So it's my right arm and my left leg, and my left arm and my right leg. So we're actually crossing. It's called cross crawl. It's like walking. And to do this, our total body needs to be engaged. Left, right, up, down, front, back. Very good. And while we're doing this, our blood pumps faster. Our heart beats faster. And we take in more oxygen because our breath goes faster. Oh, now we're going to slow down by doing the hookups. So we make our arms long, we cross our wrists, put our hands together, fingers together, pull them in. I have my left arm in front, so I'll put my right leg in front, and I breathe in through the nose with my tongue up, and I breathe out through the mouth with my tongue down, and I close my eyes. Good luck. Open your eyes, put your fingertips together, and your feet widen apart. Do the same breathing, but now look around. I don't know if I can show you guys, but I have the best possible view. I'm watching the Atlantic Ocean and I see La Pointe de Saint-Mathieu, which is like an angle in the coastline, and the sea goes around it. I'll show you. I hope you see it. And here's the sun and the sea. So, for me, it's just another day in the office. I love to say that. Of course, I'm very blessed to be here. How do you feel now that you have done the pace? Do you feel differently? Let's have a little bit more of water. I'm already connected to you guys, and my mouth is dry, so let's drink some more. Okay. Whew. So, what we've learned already from part 1 is that we start with the pace. Do you hear my voice is different, and that I speak more calmly, and that I have more overview? Okay. That's what the pace does to me. And I think this was already the 3rd time today that I did a pace. So you can do it as many times as you like. So, you start with the pace. And if all is well, for part 2, you have either done at least Touch for Health 1 and Stress Release 1-2. 1-2 is one course. It's all combined in one. Or if you haven't, you have done my short online videos. One is called QI, and QI stands for Quantum I. That's the best version of you. That's the version that's optimally connected to the quantum field without any blocks, without any programs that hold you back. So QI, learn how to muscle test. That's the one that has the information of Touch for Health. And the other one is called QI, muscle testing and stress. And if you have not done them, or you have not done Touch for Health and stress release, you can pause the video now and start doing that, because you need it. I'll be way too fast to for you to understand what I'm doing if you just have a look at me. Of course you can, and you're very welcome. And then you'll say, okay, she was right. I'll start studying the other stuff that she recommended, because we probably need it. So either way, always okay, but you do need it. The first things, all the procedures of this book or this training, we will first all do on ourselves. So the muscle testing will be done on ourselves as well, and the corrections will be done on ourselves. We've done the pace, and now the next step is to do the pre-tests, and those pre-tests are the ones from Touch for Health. And the first thing we need to know is if we have a good muscle that we can work on. So I do the testing like this. This is for the deltoideus anterior. It's a bit too high. It should be more like this, like 30 degrees up. But I have a table here, and I want you to be able to see my muscle test. So I test like this so you can see it. I push with a whole hand or 2 fingers. When I'm teaching, I don't look at my hands anymore. So I do what I do. So I push, and this is a strong test. Now I pinch in the muscle, and the arm goes down. And I do like this, and the arm becomes strong again. So the spindle cells in this muscle work well. Here I do the same. I push, I pinch, I do the opposite of pinching, and it's strong again. So the first pretest, spindle cells, is good. If, by the way, you have different outcomes, pause the video, do your correction. You've learned how to do the correction in Touch for Health, or you've learned how to do the correction in my video. So you can do that. Then, when it's fixed, you come back online and you watch what I'm doing. So the second one is the verbal yes, no, yes. So we have an arm, it's strong. I say yes, it's strong. I say no, it goes down. I say yes, it stays strong. Other arm, this is strong test. Yes, no, yes. Very good. I have another kind of bird that also warns me for things, and that's the magpie. They actually tell me that I need to start moving. But guys, I'm in the middle of a video. I can't move right now. What are you telling me? Do you hear them? They're very beautiful. Black and white. Ah, telling me that someone's coming. I close the shutter. Then I won't see him. Because my problem is that I pick up energy from other people. You might have thought, why is she a nomad? Why is she living in a camper van? Can she not live in a house or have a normal car or have a normal life? Well, it's actually a bit difficult for me. So that's why I prefer to live at the end of the world, at the border of the sea or the ocean. We now did 2 pre-tests. We did the pinching and we did the yes and no. And that's done on 2 arms. From here on, we go testing on 1 arm. I'm right-handed, so I usually test my left arm. I can do it the other way around, but I usually do this. And you'll probably have an arm that you prefer to work with. Not everybody has it. Some people are very malleable and they can do it very well on both sides. They're like ambidexter. Like that means like you're right-handed on 2 hands. Maybe we'll work on that. There's a nice story to tell. Or not a nice story, but an interesting story. We're going to proceed in the pre-tests. The next one that we will be testing is the central meridian, and we call it reversal testing. So you have strong muscle, you put your hand, go to your how do you call this? I only have a not so nice word, crotch, but your pubic bone. Go to your pubic bone and do like this until here. And that's the central meridian, and you're actually stimulating it in the right direction. And usually it likes it, so that's strong. Then you do the same, but in the opposite direction. It doesn't like it, so the arm goes down and you push it up again. If you have any other outcome, then strong, weak, strong, pause and do a correction. Very good. Now we go to water, I guess. I don't know if I held... yes, water and then switching. So when I test myself, I kind of switch them up. We pull a little bit of hair and then we push. This is not a surprise, guys, because I was rather thirsty. Have some water. And if drinking water makes you go to the toilet a lot, this means you're deficient in minerals and have some sea salt. A couple of times a day, between 3 or 5 or 8 times a day, you can test how many times, and you just have some grains, have them melt in your mouth, and then drink some water, and this will balance your minerals. Very good idea. So now we check, and now it stays strong, so the water is good. Then we check switching. So we make this kind of pistol, and we touch the points under the collarbone. This is for left, right, and I push. It's strong. This is for up and down, and I touch the coccyx. And it's strong. Very good. So the switching is good. What else did I put in there? We had 7. Oh, eyes and ears, of course. Strong test. Look at the hand. This is close by. About 20-30 centimeters. Strong. I look far. I look close. I look up. I just follow the hand and down and left and right. My eyesight is balanced. Now I test for the ears, so that's number 7. I look to the right. This goes down. And to the left. This goes down as well. So the correction will be another person doing this. It's like a massage of the ears. And then pull down after 3 times and out. So you open the tube of the buis van Eustachius, the tube of Eustachius, I think, in English. Now we are going to recheck. So I have a strong test. I turn, hey, and it became strong. The tests are strong now, and I can turn my head much further, and my ears are more balanced. So the energy around my ears and my neck is more balanced. Very good. These were the pre-tests. So now we've done the pace and the pre-tests. When you start working on yourself or you work on somebody else, you always start with the pace and the pre-tests. Because it's like a scale. Say you have a scale for your body weight and you step on it. A scale that tells me 3 kilos or 10 kilos more than my weight is still weighing. It's not really broken, but it's not precise. And I don't like the numbers on the scale then. I don't know how this works for you, but I don't like it. So I like my tools to be precise. When say you have a saw and you try to cut some wood, you like it to go straight and not in a curve. It's very hard to do, and then you need to file and do other stuff to make it straight again. So it's a lot of work, and it just doesn't work so well. So make sure that the pace and the pre-tests are balanced. In the book, I give you 7 pre-tests, and then I start telling about the massive reversal. And this actually comes from stress release. Let me see. I'll first tell you about the corrections of stress release that we work with in this training. So we already have the stress release, by the way, comes from Wayne Topping, and Wayne Topping is a gentleman, a doctor from New Zealand. He's a Kiwi, so maybe you know him, or you've been there, or you've done trainings with him. And his work is very efficient, very practical, very logical, very beautiful, and we will work a lot with it. So the easiest way to use stress release is this one. You touch the neurovascular points on the forehead that belong to the stomach meridian. And why? The stomach meridian has to do with feeling stressed, not at ease. It's like when you have your stomach blocked because you're nervous. When you put your fingers on your forehead, or your whole hand, or 2 hands, or 2 times 2 fingers, you will touch those points, and the stomach meridian will come down and your stress will lower. So this helps. If the stress has something to do with a stressor back in time, you can put a hand on your occiput. So this is the back side of your head, just above the neck. If you have a tendency of leaving your body because the stress is too exciting, you can have a hand on the belly button. Then you're more grounded. You stay here more. You can even put your focus, your attention on your feet and feeling them, so you stay in your body. That's also a good time to have some more minerals, because then you're more grounded. Or touch some nature or a tree or walk barefoot. And if you have pain, say you have pain in the knee, you can have a hand on the head and a hand on the knee, and then the amount of pain will become less because you're taking it away with the stress release here on the forehead. So these are the simple ways to work with stress release. And if you do it many times, if you do it a lot, also when you're not so stressed, it will become a normal or a natural pattern in your way of moving through life. When I'm stressed now, I do this. I don't have to think. And that's a very good thing, because when you're stressed, you cannot think so good, so well. So get used to this, or get used to this. It's both okay. Bonjour. I forgot to close the window. And you see, I do like this now to get my focus back. The easy way of stress release. The second way of stress release, which you have learned in my short course or when you did stress release 1 and 2. Sometimes when you think of a topic, like those people coming by, a man and a woman, they were very kind and they saluted. So actually there's nothing wrong, but it doesn't match my picture of giving this video. So when I test right now for this, I probably have one strong and one weak test. The left arm is combined with the right hemisphere, and that's more the Wi-Fi one, the one that is connected to all that is, to the field. It has oversight, and it says, there's no problem. Kind people, it's okay. Meanwhile, the other hand, so my right hand, was going down, and it's connected to my left hemisphere, and that's the critical one, and that's the precise one, and that wants to deliver a good video to you. It's getting nicer. We probably are going into a theme or a topic because people are walking by now on both sides. The way to correct this, I have a strong arm and a weak arm, and this means that my brain halves do not agree on this topic. So what I'm going to do is called brain integration, BI in the book, brain integration. For that we need to open our arms. I cannot go very far here, but I have a far here and I have a little bit of far there. And we just let the hands come together like magnets. And then you clench them together and bring them to your heart. If you want to take off more stress, you can first touch the head and then do the arms wide. And if you want to go deeper even, you put your thumbs on your ring fingers, and now we're in the emotion mode, and you do your arms wide and you let them come together and clench and put them to your heart. Some people get stressed when the arms are here and there's like a block and they don't feel the pull of the magnets, and those arms stay there and they think they will be having their arms like this forever, and it will not work. I've been working with this material for 25 years now, and all my clients have their arms back together. So don't worry, arms will always come back together. Don't worry. One hand, the right hand, is more a plus hand, and the left one is a little bit more a minus hand. And they attract. If they would both be pluses, they would repel. Or two minuses, they would repel. But they're a plus and a minus, and they want to be together. They love to be together. Look how well hands fit together. Doesn't that look beautiful? So don't worry. Your hands will always come together. Then there's the third way of working with stress release, and that's when you have two weak arms. So say you're testing with the emotion mode and you have a weak arm and you have a weak arm. Then you can do a couple of things. You can put a hand on your head. You can put a hand on your head with the emotion mode. So it might look like this. And you can do eye rotations, because each eye has 6 muscles. Up, down, on the outsides, on the insides, and we have, like in an angle, the oblique. So we have 2 upper ones and 2 lower ones. So every eye has 6 muscles. And when we see something that hurts us or that makes us scared or angry or whatever, we lock that emotion into our eye muscles. So a very beautiful way for releasing the trauma or the emotions that are in our eyes, we do eye rotations. And you can make a cross of your fingers. I hold the emotion mode. I put a hand on my head, so this is stress release, and I'll do a circle with this hand clockwise and anti-clockwise. So I'll just follow with my eyes. And I'll go back. And you keep on doing this until the emotion is balanced. Sometimes there's a sigh, sometimes there's a yawn. So for 2 weak tests, we have the hand on the head with the emotion mode, the hand on the head with the emotion mode, and the eye rotations. We'll be using this a lot during the balances. Very good. I'll have some more water. Please have some more water. Now, still in stress release, we have 2 reversals. The little reversal is called psychological reversal. Say you are afraid of spiders and you come to me for a balance and we want to work together. I want to know if you want to overcome your fear of spiders. Because if you think, or if your body or your system thinks that your life depends on being afraid of spiders, it will not let go of the fear. So, we can do this with the emotion mode and without. Oh, for the other, by the way, the thing I was balancing for myself is now strong. The one I did with the eye rotations. You always need to test back. So, spiders. So this client says, I want to overcome my fear of spiders. So there's stress on this sentence, which means they don't want it. The counter sentence could be, I want to hold on to my fear of spiders. And probably they'll give 2 strong muscles. This means they have a psychological reversal. And if you want to work with this person on their fear of spiders, you first have to address this. Because if you don't, you may give them a fantastical balance. But once they go home and the next spider they see, they will be just as afraid as they were before. And the correction will be tapping small intestine number 3. And that's a meridian point. Here you have a line in your hand and it stops under the pinky, and it's about 1 centimeter under the pinky. And we all have it. And you can find it on the other hand as well, and then touch it like this. It's a little bit like karate. And if you touch this and when you stimulate this, this is part of I cannot think when I do this. That's why we do this. This is part of the small intestine meridian, and when we tap this, our brain goes fuzzy and we can be programmed with new information. And we're going to actually say something very kind and very nice. And we're going to say, I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself, and I think I'm worthy completely. Even though I'm afraid of spiders and I want to hold on to that fear. You're saying something very nice because you could be angry with yourself that you are afraid of spiders. There's so little. What are you afraid of? It's getting very warm here, guys. We have the sun on the bus, even though it's winter. So I'm dressed underneath. Don't worry. But it looks a bit like this. So you're actually being very kind. You're saying, even though I have this fear of spiders and I want to hold on to it, I do love myself and I do accept myself and I do respect myself and I do think I'm worthy. So we will then be tapping together, me and the client, and we will be saying, I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself, and I'm worthy completely, even though I want to hold on to my fear of spiders. And we will repeat this 3 times. And then I will test my client. First, probably with no emotion mode, and I'll have her say, I want to let go of my fear of spiders. This is a strong, I want to let go of my fear of spiders. Strong. I want to hold on to my fear of spiders. No, I want to hold on to my fear of spiders. You could even test it again with the emotion mode. I want to let go of my fear of spiders. Yes, I want to let go of my fear of spiders. Okay, so with the emotion mode, every time you go a little bit deeper, in a deeper layer. So now you know what a psychological reversal is. It is a reversal on a small part of your life. So maybe a fear of spiders, or a fear of driving your car on the highway, or a fear of going to bed at night with no lights on, or a fear of being alone, or a fear of eating something new, something you don't know, you've never eaten. So, these are just thoughts. You can actually have a psychological reversal on any topic of the balance that you'll be doing. So it's always nice when you have done the pace and the pre-tests, and when you've had the conversation and you know what the problem is and what the person wants to work on, so what their topic is, then you always want to check with the client, I want to overcome this problem or this pain or this, I want to achieve this goal. And here we're always working with the word I want to. Because if you don't want it, it will not happen. Say you're preparing to climb the Mount Everest. I don't know where that idea came from. And you're training and you're doing all the little mountains, but something in your system says, I'm never going to climb that mountain. I don't want to. Then the chance that you make it to the top is almost 0. So if you would come to me in a balance, we would check if you would want to climb the mountain. And if the test is, I want to climb the Mount Everest, then you have psychological reversal, and I would at least let you tap, I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself, and I think myself worthy completely, even though I do not want to climb the Mount Everest. And have it said 3 times, I want to climb the Mount Everest is now strong. And then you can do a balance, because maybe there's a very good reason why you don't want to. Maybe you in another life froze to death on a mountain, and every cell in your body says, no, not going to repeat this. We're not going to do this now. So that could be a nice balance. Are we going to do that one? Oh, okay. So we're actually going to do this before I tell you how the massive reversal works. I'll tell that later. So this client, we've done the pace, we've done the pre-tests and the corrections. And I know now he wants to climb the Mount Everest. He's been climbing his whole life, doing little mountains, and now he's going for the Mount Everest. And he will be doing that in 3 months. And he comes to me because he has, he dreams at night, he has nightmares of freezing to death on the Mount Everest, and he wants to overcome his fear. So he comes to me and I let him say, I want to climb the Mount Everest, and we had the no. So he did the tapping, he feels a little bit better, less anxious. And now we're going to have a look in the cross. But we're using the muscle tests. So it's a little bit different now. So I get the cross. And for this gentleman, I say, I'll first do it verbally. I will show another way of doing it later on. We are going to work with densities. No. We're going to work with lives ahead. No. We're going to work with lives. No. We're going to work with generations in my mom's line. No. We're going to work with generations in my father's line. No. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay. Just to check. We're going to work with dimensions. Okay. Not a problem. In the book, over here, I work with the 7 densities. That's what I've also written in the book, the 7 densities. And I explain them to you and how I work with them. Yeah? But we are now 4 years after I wrote the books and I made the first videos. And I've been working with this material with almost every client. I think 98% of the clients I work with this system. And what I found out while I was doing that, of course we have the 7 densities, but dimensions are other things. And we have so many dimensions, I could not count them like this. But what I do in my mind when I work with my clients, the list of the densities is now no longer on the right hand side but on the left hand side, and here I have dimensions, and I don't know how many dimensions there are. We are multi-dimensional beings. So when I work with this client and he wants to climb the Mount Everest and every cell in his body is screaming no, we now have to work on dimensions. I don't know which one, but I can count. So I can do, okay, we go and have a look in dimensions for the root cause of this problem. So I test, I don't know if there's a 0 dimension, but I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the 5th dimension, there's a trauma or a problem or a blockage that makes the man anxious and have nightmares, and that's why he doesn't subconsciously want to climb the Mount Everest. Meanwhile, consciously, he really wants it. So when we're there, I'll test the man on 2 arms. So we're in the 5th dimension now, and I have 1 strong arm and 1 slow arm. That's actually what he's showing. He, on a certain level, wants to climb the Mount Everest, and on another level he doesn't want it at all. So a strong one and a weak one. So what we will be doing is brain integration. and I'll let him do this. And together with him, I'll do the same. And then we cross our fingers and we put it to the heart. And I look at him, I see how he changes. And I'll say, let's do this again, but with the emotion mode. And now it's much slower, you see? The arms are not coming together so fast because we're on a deeper level. We're on the emotional level. And I have a thought. But I'm stretching you because I'm showing you actually how I work. And it's very intuitively. And I would like to test some fears for him while we're here. I'm just going to check if he thinks of climbing the Mount Everest right now in this 5th dimension. He has 2 strong muscles. Okay. The fears we are going to test in the 5th dimension? No. We are going first to the now moment. Yes. Okay. So we go back to the now moment, probably in 3D. It depends a little bit on the energetical development of this gentleman. And in this book we talk about fears. Do you remember when I did like and then I went to chapter 5? Now it's hard to find, but then I was in chapter 8 and it's about fears. I've listed there the most common fears and the fears I would test. And I would test them on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 being nothing, no fear. 10 being the absolute max and driving you crazy. So, the first 2 important fears are the fear of living and the fear of dying. And could be very relevant here in this case. Then we have the fear of not being good enough, the fear of not being loved, the fear to connect, and the fear to be abandoned. The first 2 fears are more like umbrella fears. All fears are either fear of dying or fear of living. Not being good enough is what we're being told often by parents or school. Not being lovable is when we feel rejected, when we feel that being us is not a good thing and therefore people cannot love us. And often then we do not love ourselves. And in our human nature, we really, a blackbird, we really want to connect with others. We're social beings. But if we have been hurt a lot, we can become very fearful of making connections. And some just don't make connections anymore. They stay to themselves. And others do start connections, but they are afraid to lose the other. So those fears are very, can you say, invalidating? So they're in Dutch we say invaliderend. So it means like they really kind of ruin your life. They very much influence you. So for this gentleman who wants to climb the Mount Everest, we're going to test those fears by having 2 fingers in this little dent. It's called the notch. So if you put your finger there and you have your arm like this, and then I have this gentleman say, I feel fear of death. No. I feel fear of living. No. I feel fear of not being good enough. I feel fear of not being loved. I feel fear to connect. I feel fear to be abandoned. That's interesting. And the fear is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's quite a lot. Now I have all these ideas running in my head. You see my face. Very often, fear of abandonment I find in people that when they started life at conception, they were not alone. They very often were twins. And I'm quite a specialist in it because I'm a single born twin, and so are my sisters, and so are all my children. I have 3 children walking around that need feeding. And I have about 12 children in total. So that's the first thing that comes to mind for me, fear of abandonment. Because fear of abandonment and being afraid to climb the mountain doesn't seem logical. Does it? No, it doesn't. So I would like, with this information, to do the cross scan. So for this gentleman, there's a test. And we are going to work with dimensions, with densities. We're going to work in generations ahead. We're going to work in lives. We're going to work in generations backwards. So we're going to work here. Oh, in generations backwards. Really? Okay. Okay. Going in another direction again. That's the nice thing with muscle testing. You can have all the thoughts you want in your head, but you may be wrong, and the muscle tests will tell you where to go. So if I touch the upper line, for me this means we go in the mother line. No, we go into the father line. Yes, we go back 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 generations back in the father's line, and we're talking about a woman, about a man. Let's just use our stress release because I have no picture here. I don't know what we're talking about. So when we're 20 generations backwards in father's line, and it's a man, so it's like a grandfather of this man, and we touch one arm, it's strong, we touch the other and it's going down. So we're going to do brain integration. You see, sometimes you don't know what you're working on. Let's do it again. And let's do it with a moment of touching the forehead, and for a moment you saw me open my mouth. Did you see it when I did this? I was doing a pulse lock. Of course, this is for the people who know kinesiology and are much further. But if you don't have enough hands, you can pulse lock something. And you can do that with your jaws and with your hips. And I was having this crystal here, so I couldn't open my legs. But what you can do if you want brain integration, and you don't have any hands left to put on your forehead, you can touch the forehead, open your legs, or touch the forehead, open your jaws, and then open your legs. And now this touching is on repeat. It says you're doing all this stuff, and touching your forehead is on repeat. You're doing all this stuff, and touching your forehead is on repeat. So for this gentleman now, I'm doing the emotion mode, touching the forehead, doing brain integration. Very good. Now I can close my legs again because I don't need this function anymore. So we're 20 generations backwards in his father's line, and it's a man. And if we now touch with the emotion mode, it's strong. We need to do more in this moment. No. And for the people who are advanced kinesiology students, practitioners, we could do the more mode here. It's a little bit too much to explain this in this video. Please have some more water. I want to know at this moment with this man 20 generations backwards in his father's line, if we must do more here. No. We have to go further. No. We can come back towards the now. Yes. So we go 15, 10, 5, 0 back, and then we're at the now. What I would like to know is how this sphere is doing. So I touch again with 2 fingers the notch, and I have him say, I feel fear of abandonment. And it's still strong, so yes, there is still fear, but the fear is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it went down 5 points. Very good. Well, let's do the cross again. So we go to densities, dimensions, generations ahead, lives backwards. Generations backwards. So we're not doing this. We're not doing the axis. So we probably must be in this life. And we can start with preconception, conception, being in the womb. That becomes strong. Okay. Then we start looking at seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Okay. So when this gentleman who wants to climb the Mount Everest was in his mum's belly 6 weeks in, there was a trauma which caused probably his nightmares and his fear of climbing that mountain, and probably his fear of abandonment. So if I check for 6 weeks in the belly, is this the moment your brother or sister died? I get a yes. I choke up, I can hardly speak, so I feel grief. So we first do this. And let the gentleman experience whatever he experiences. I've not muscle tested it, but it probably was a girl. We can test your twin was a girl. Yes, it's strong. And I still choke. I cannot breathe. So now I test, when he's in that moment, I test both arms. So we have a weak arm and a weak arm. And he's actually very dizzy. So hand on the head, hand on the belly button. This was for the soul and for the little creature that he was detrimental. This was like, I don't want to live either. Such a strong moment. Okay, so I'm doing a little bit of sighing and burping. That's a way to release energy. Okay, now we check. We had 2 weak arms, 1 strong, 1 weak. So we're going to do brain integration again. Some people will always have 1 strong, 1 weak, and always will be doing brain integration. Other people will always have 2 arms strong and doing eye rotations. For this man, it's mostly brain integration. So first, no emotion mode. For this moment, I had a little conversation with him. He never knew that there was a twin. His mom never told him. He never suspected it. So this is rather quite something. And it does make sense, because he's always afraid of being left alone. And actually this is what happens in his life. People leave him. And he's sad about it. Okay, now do it with the emotional mode. And he's getting calmer now. Can think clear again. If you're in the room with the client, you can stand next to him and hold this while he's doing this. So you don't have to work with pulse lock, you just hold the points you touch. Okay, so 6 weeks in the womb, and we're going to test 2 strong arms, and with the emotion mode, 2 strong arms. I just had a fear that my video would stop, so I'll check if my battery is full enough. I'll be right back with you. I'm back again. No, 72%. So that's a fear. I could have a look at that maybe later for myself. So 6 weeks in the belly, and it's a strong test now. We need, for the people that know a lot of kinesiology, this is strong. It tests strong at this moment in time. We need to do more in this belly. No, we can go to birth. We can go to the, say this man is 45. We test till 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're back in the here and now. I ask how he feels. Yeah, much better, much better. We'll check the fear. Finger on the notch. I feel fear of abandonment. So no. So it's between 0 and 2 then, if the arm goes down. Very good. I want to climb the Mount Everest. Strong, and with the emotion mode, I want to climb the Mount Everest, so there's no psychological reversal here. I see myself climbing the Mount Everest. Not really. So we have a look again in the cross. Or in the now moment. Yes, we go into the cross. No, we go in the now moment. That's what I felt like. Stay here. Okay. So you see, I also use my intuition. I'm being guided. You will be too. Learn to trust it. It's just, you need to do it many times and then you'll know. So, I see myself climbing the Mount Everest. It's 2 weak muscles. But as I said it, I saw it from a third person. So the third person seeing him climb the Mount Everest. And that was not the right view. So I asked him again to please see yourself climb the Mount Everest and see it from your perspective and see your legs do the steps and hear your breathing and feel the thick clothes you have and feel the package you have on your back and sticks you have in your hands, and then it's strong. And when I ask, do you see yourself reaching the top? Yeah. And when you're there, is there any fear? No. Do you feel well? Yes. Well, let's celebrate this. So we do like, yeah! This is the 6th step in Brain Gym. We rejoice. We are happy for achieving good goals in our balances. So this man is happy to be on the top of the Mount Everest. Okay. And then I ask him to come down to the different camps. And we'll just test. He's coming down and down and down. Now he has to slow down because something is going wrong. The French are so social and so curious. They are almost in your bus when they say bonjour. I'm also used to Swedes. Swedes don't even look at you if they don't know you. So they're quite the opposite. Doesn't mean they're unkind, but they just have learned to not greet people they don't know. Thank you, monsieur. And this fear is, I think, very right. So the upper camp went well, so that's the third. The second went well, and going from 2 to 1 went too fast for him. And it feels like he has altitude illness. So we're gonna pause at the moment that he starts feeling badly. And I check again on 2 arms if I can do stress release. So these are strong, we cannot do that. Then we'll go again to the cross. So we see if we need to go into densities, dimensions, lives forward. Generations forward. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I ask him, do you have children? And he says, not yet. And we can work forward through his children. And he doesn't have the children yet. So he must either make a child right now or when he comes back from the mountain. So 5 generations from him. I'm sorry that it's a very complicated balance as the first balance that I demonstrate for you guys. But I hope you're relaxed in this and you can just see the wonder of it all. And I hope the next ones are maybe not shorter but clearer. But I hope you can follow this thread the way I think. So we're now 5 generations ahead through his second child. So this means he comes back from the mountain and he'll at least be able to reproduce. I must think of the book, The World According to Garp. If you want to know more about it, there's a video and there's a movie and a book about it. I hope he comes down healthily. So we found the moment that he was feeling poorly coming down between the second and the first camp. He was having height illness, and we have to repair this by going 5 generations ahead through his second child. And he has no children at the moment. So he comes back and he'll be able to reproduce. This child is a boy, it's a girl, and we do stress release. So we do brain integration again. So we start like this. And for a moment we do this because I got information. This girl is very proud of her grandfather who climbed the Mount Everest 3 times and now does alpinism herself. She's a climber and she one day will want to climb the Mount Everest. The man feels tears rising up and he's very happy and very proud and very thankful to know his granddaughter being a climber as well. They share the same passion, endurance, power, flexibility, almost fearlessness. Very beautiful. So, for this grandchild, we test 2 arms. It's strong. And with the emotion mode, it's strong. Okay. Can we go back to the now moment? Yes. So, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're in the now moment. So I asked the man, please climb down the Mount Everest very slowly and show me from the top the 3rd camp, the 2nd camp. He has to stay in the 2nd camp for a longer time, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. This will be his request to the carriers. to stay in the camp for 5 days, because otherwise he's going to be ill if he goes down too fast. But if he stays 5 days and then goes down to the first camp, he's fine. Can he go from the first to ground level? Yes. So that's bonjour. That's not a problem. So if he stays in the second camp for 5 days, there's not a problem. So this man had a good reason to have those nightmares. Not only because there was underneath stress, but also because his soul or God was trying to warn him, things will not go well for you if you climb this mountain and come down right away. Climbing is not the problem, descending is the problem. And we would not have found it if we had not, in our mind's eye, done the whole route and then came back the whole route. Not just only be happy at the top, but seeing him descend to ground floor. So, or ground base. So, I can now ask for this client if we need to do more. No, this was more than enough. And does he need to tap? Does he need to do anything? He needs to take more minerals. So the story I just told you about the sea salt, he needs to do that too. And pack the sea salts in his bag, because even though it's very cold, the intensity of the walking up is so strong that you sweat and you lose a lot of your minerals. And you need the minerals to have the body function. So he'll be taking minerals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day. Very good for the next 3 months. Yes. And the moment that he's going to climb the mountain is the best moment for him. Yes. Okay. Good. And he has to bring something like this for good luck. Maybe something else, but something like this. What I now will do, because I believe I actually balanced someone. This was not just a case. This was given to me, but I've been really balancing somebody. So probably we will hear in the future now that somebody is going to climb the Mount Everest 3 times. I really need to go and wash my hands. So I'll be right back, and I'll do a very little pause to wash my hands. Welcome back. I feel much better now that I've washed my hands. I'm putting my crystal back, and I got myself some sea salt. Maybe you can do the same. Doing kinesiology balances makes you really connect to the other person and the other one's energy and trauma. So take good care of yourselves. Beware that you're very much balanced before you work. And when you've worked with a client, wash your hands, let go, maybe have a little walk outside, maybe do a cross crawl, or maybe do the whole pace to be back at your own page. Your own energy, your own soul, your own alignment. So this was actually a good demonstration. I've told you now about quite some things already. Doing the pace, doing the pre-tests and correct them, the psychological reversal, and we worked with fears and the notch, the fear of dying, living, being not good enough, being loved, the fear of not being loved, the fear of connecting, and the fear of abandonment. And we've gone through the cross in many different ways. I've demonstrated a lot of stress release and brain integration, even combined with the stress release and the pulse lock, so opening your legs, keeping that information running. And we have added to the cross not only the densities, but also the dimensions. So we've done a lot already. Now I'd like to take you to the explanation of the massive reversal. So we have the psychological reversal, which is not a little fear, because it can be a very big fear, but it's in one area of your life. But a massive reversal is it's like a switch on off. Meanwhile, it should have been on, but for many things in your life. So if you're unhappy and unhealthy and your love life is not so happy, I wanted to say something else, and your financial life is not going well, and you have to leave your house within a short period of time, and you have no other solution. If that is the case, you might have a massive reversal. And this is our pre-test number 8. And we test it like this. I'll first show you the pre-test, and then I'll show you the sentences. So you have your test, you put a hand on the head, or you let the person, him or herself, do this. Test, turn the hand, test, and put the hand down again. So the flat hands should be strong and the turned hand should be weak. So it should be strong, weak, strong. If you have any different results, there is a sign that there's something wrong in the massive reversal. For the massive reversal, you let people say, I want to lead a happy life. And you can do this with the emotion mode. I want to lead a happy life. I want to lead a happy life. And I always ask, I want to lead a healthy life. I want to lead a healthy life. I want to lead a healthy life. In these cases, it was strong. But if there is a massive reversal, they will be weak. And there is counter sentences. So for the happy is unhappy, and for the healthy it's unhealthy or ill or sick. So if I would test on myself, I want to lead an unhappy life, I get 2 times a no. I want to lead a unhealthy life, I get 2 times a no. So my tests are all right. But if you find a scenario, a case where the person, for example, has a problem, let's say, are we going to combine them? Yes. Let's say a pain in the knee. Are we going to do this one? Yeah. I'm just checking because I just saw the video of this morning of 4 years ago, and there's an example of a football player with a bad knee, but I'm trying to remember if I did it already right now, but I don't think I did. If I did, sorry guys, I think I'm going to repeat it. But we worked with fear, and we worked with the psychological reversal, and we didn't work with pain yet. And we didn't work with the massive reversal yet. So that's what we're going to do. And by the way, I cannot see you on the screen anymore because the sunlight now on the water is so strong. I'll turn the camera, you can see it. I'm blinded by the light. Look. Isn't it beautiful? So I guess you are still there. I hope you are. And we are going to work with this gentleman who comes in with a kind of limp. And he is, say, 32. And he comes into my office and he is walking a little bit like this. And he has pain in his knee. And he's not happy about it. And he has done all kinds of physiotherapy. And it works for a little while. And then the pain comes back. The walking is kind of okay right now, but he says, I think he walks with a limp, and but the pain is making him crazy. There's many things he cannot do. So I do the pace with him, I do the pre-tests with him, and then I do the pre-tests with him, and I've heard him say things get better for a little while and then they get just as bad again or worse. So here my alarm bells are on and saying, okay, this could be a kind of reversal. So I let him say, because I first think of a psychological reversal, I want to overcome the problems in my knee, and we have strong tests. I want to hold on to the problems in my knee. No. Okay. And he thinks it's stupid questions and he's not with me for nothing, so please don't ask stupid questions. And then I said, yes, but I need to check your subconscious mind and how it thinks about things. And then I asked him to say, I want to lead a happy life. And we have a weak test. I want to lead a healthy life. And we have a weak test. So this points me in the direction of the massive reversal. And this man has a very scrambled brain. I have problems by staying focused. So I try to be here with you. I'm really focusing. We do the counter sentence, and it is, I want to have an unhappy life. And it's strong. I want to have an unhealthy life. And it's strong. Okay, so I explained to this gentleman that if you have this program, you probably are in survival mode. And he says, well, I'm a professional football player, and if I have this knee, I cannot work, and I risk to be kicked out of the team and to not have my finances complete, because I'm used to getting a very good salary, and if I don't get it anymore, I have a problem because my life is built on having a very good salary. So yes, I'm angry and I'm nervous and I'm pissed off and things are not going the way I want it. Okay, so we start tapping. And I make him say, I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself, and I think myself worthy completely, even though I have problems and I am not perfect. The sentence is a bit different. Ondanks mijn problemen en tekortkomingen. And shortcomings. Yeah? That's also not being perfect. And we do this 3 times. I love and accept myself. I respect myself. I think myself worthy completely, even though I have problems and shortcomings. And we do it again. I love and accept myself. I respect myself and I think myself worthy, even though I have problems and shortcomings. Now he says, I want to lead a happy life. This is strong. And 1 is going down. I want to lead a healthy life. Strong, strong. So we're now back to happy, and the tapping didn't cure it all. So, guys, why am I getting so complex examples for you? Because you're new to this and you get all the exceptions in the book. I ask him, when you do the tapping, what do you think? And then he says, well, I can say I love myself and I accept myself and I respect myself because I think I do. But I think I'm worthless right now. As a football player, I'm letting my wife down, I'm letting my children down, I'm letting my team down, my coach. So I feel worthless. Okay, let's work on worth then. You see, that's how we get to things. So I let him say, I am worthy. And it goes down 2 arms. So now I let him do eye rotations in the here and now. So when I do it on myself, it looks like this. And I just do the eye rotations. Then I say the double negative. I no longer need to feel unworthy. 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 And then I feel worthy. 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 Huh. Okay. How do you feel? Better. So I feel worthy is strong. So if we now go to the sentence, I want to lead a happy life. I want to lead a happy life. Very good. So now probably we've balanced the situation enough to go into the pain. So he touches his knee and I have an arm, and we're going to test the pain on a scale from 0 to 10. And the pain right now as he is sitting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I ask him, when you walk the stairs, or when you try to run, or when you kick a wall, well then it's about an 8. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to have a look in the cross and see what's underneath the pain of the knee. Dear God, may it be clear and nice for my students so they can follow this. Thank you. Why do I say it like this? I'm being guided in these videos. And of course I know what's all going to be in the videos. So a part of me as a human has the oversight. But during the videos I am totally guided by my oversoul, by the divinity, and to give you the best possible balances and the best possible examples. Only this time we have rather difficult examples, but you don't have to do it so difficultly. You may do it much easier yourself. But now you've seen the most complex versions already, and then you know you can do it too. So we're going back to the cross. And for this gentleman, we're going to work in densities, dimensions. We're going to work in generations forward. We're going to work in lives. We're going to work in generations backward. Yes. We're going to work in his mom's line, in his dad's line. We go one back. So we go to his father. He says, yes, I understand. I say, what do you mean, I understand? Well, my father was a professional flute player as well. And I'm the eldest son. And I really wanted him to be proud of me. And he has always brought me to my trainings. And he's my biggest fan at the line shouting for me. And he's very worried about me. Okay. And this is about his life. Did he get injured, or did he have problems with playing football? Yes, he got injured on his left knee when he was 32, and it was the end of his career. Do you hear? This is exactly the same situation as this man is in. And when you look at life, we are programmed by our parents and our school and our systems and our culture. And we have a part that we could call nature. So that's gene expression, the color of your hair, of your eyes, the way you look, your height. And there's programs coming from nurture. So if this young man was a little boy when his father was going through all this, there's a big chance that he picked something of this up in his life. And now he's like copycatting exactly his father. So we go to the father, and probably at 32, yes, we can now do something for the father. Let's check the massive reversal of the father at 32. So for the father, I want to lead a happy life. I want to lead a healthy life. I want my knee to heal. Okay, so he doesn't have a psychological reversal. He wants his knee to heal, but he does have a massive reversal. So let's do the tapping for the father. Because he too had a wife and family and a team and a coach. I love and accept myself. I respect myself and I think myself worthy. Even though I have problems and shortcomings. I love and accept myself. I respect myself and I think myself worthy. Even though I have problems and I have shortcomings. I'm touching my forehead and I'm putting my legs apart. So we have the stress release helping here. I love and accept myself. I respect myself. And I think I'm worthy completely. Even though I have problems and I have shortcomings. We're going to repeat it again. There's again the magpie. And there was a glitch in the camera. I love and accept myself. I respect myself. And I think I'm worthy completely. Even though I have problems and shortcomings. Okay. So, and the blackbird. I don't know what's happening. Maybe they pick up the balance that I'm doing. So we're still with this father at 32 years old, and we're testing. I want to lead a happy life. I want to lead a happy life. I want to lead a healthy life. I want to lead a healthy life. Okay, and if I do this test, it is perfect. Car coming. And when I ask, we have done enough for this moment in time for this father, it's a strong test. We must go back more. No? We can go back to the now moment. Very good. So I go back to the gentleman that's in front of me and I say, how's your knee doing? He says, better. I have less pain. And he walks around a little and I see no limp. Very good. The pain is now 1, 2. Very good. And then I ask, what happened when your father had this problem? And he said, my mom left. My mom left with another football player who was playing. Okay. And I was with my brother raised by my father alone. Oh dear! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So I asked him, are you afraid that your wife will leave you? Yes. Will she? Probably not. But you are afraid. Yes. Okay. So in this case, I would inject again the fears. So let's do this. Because I'm trying to show you how I work with this. So we're in the now moment. We now know the fear. So here we go. For this 32-year gentleman, the football player with the knee pain. 2 fingers on the notch. He has a fear of life, of death, of not being good enough, of not being loved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And fear of connecting, fear of being abandoned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. So we're going to have a look again in the cross, what we can do. We need to work in this life. We need to work in the axis of the cross. Yes. So, there we go again. We work on densities, on dimensions, on generations ahead, on lives, on generations back. We go in the mother line, we go in the father line, and now we go back 0, 1 generation. So we go back to the father and we work there again. So I'm actually going to do the fears again for the father. So, dear father of this gentleman, your fear is of life, of death, of not being good enough, of not being loved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of connecting, of being abandoned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So exactly the same thing. Let's work on the priority. So the priority is fear of not being loved. The fear is the fear of being abandoned. Okay, so this father figure says, I feel fear of being abandoned. 1 strong arm, 1 going down. So we're going to do brain integration. First we start without the mode. So we let the arms come together and clench together. I'll put a hand on the forehead and open the legs. If you're working with the client, you can hold the head. Arms wide and let them come together. There's more resistance now because we're deeper into the emotion. Okay. And we're going to use the emotion mode. Very good. Very good. So, we close the legs and I let the father say in our mind's eye, because the father is not there, the son is there. I feel fear of being abandoned. And I get a no. I feel fear of being abandoned. No. Very good. I feel fear of not being loved. No. Very good. For the people that know a lot of kinesiology, you can do the more mode. It stays strong. And otherwise we say the sentence out loud. We need to do more for this situation in this moment. No. We need to go backward more. No. We can return to the here and now. Yes. So, let's return to the here and now and go to the son of 32 that is in my practice. And I ask him, how do you feel? And he says, I feel kind of good. The pain's almost gone. I think it's 0 or 1. And I feel relieved, like this burden is no longer on my chest anymore. Very good. So I let him say, for fears, with the emotion mode. I feel fear of not being loved. No. I feel fear of being abandoned. No. Isn't that lovely? Then I check for the here and now moment. We need to do more. No. We need to do no more. Will tapping the massive reversal be required for the coming time? Yes. Very good. How many times a day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. Saying the sentences 3 times? Yes. And for how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So for 5 weeks, this client will be tapping 5 times a day the sentences 3 times of the massive reversal. And we need to make a new appointment? No. But in 2 weeks, he will send me a message how he's doing. And then we decide if he comes back or not, or I give him extra homework, or we do another balance. So, in 2 weeks, we know more. So this is how you can do a complete balance. I will virtually wash my hands. And I'll have a little bit more of sea salt. How did you like this story, guys? How did you like? Because this happens a lot. The children actually are living almost the lives of their fathers or mothers. It's so warm that I'm going to take this off, guys. And it's only the beginning of January. In the Netherlands there's snow and it's -7. And here it's, I think, 14, 15 degrees. When I'm done filming, I go outside in my bikini and have a sun bath. No, that's exaggerated. But I could go out and sit in the sun. Okay, we can open it again. So let's recap. Let's see what we have done already. We've done the pace. We've done pre-tests. We've done the psychological reversal. We've done the massive reversal. We've worked with fear. We've worked with pain. We've added to the cross. You hear in the middle, the blackbird? We've added to the cross the dimensions. You can see how you can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I have up till now only worked with stress release as the correction. When you have done more than that, when you know how to give a 14 muscle balance, or when you know more techniques like brain gym or SIPS or leap or whatever in kinesiology. Another card. It's a Saturday. Everybody's free. So this is the most beautiful route on the coastline. So, and it starts here. So that's why it's so busy. So if you have more in your toolkit as a kinesiologist, use it. And use it the way you know it. So it's either intuitively knowing, for this person I'm going to do this or this or this, or you go through your modes. And for the people that are new to kinesiology, kinesiologists work with the finger modes, and it looks a little bit like this, or at least my modes do. And just showing you. So these are the things I do. And they're so ingrained in my system. My hands know what they're doing without me even being consciously there. I think we can do a balance with going through the modes, and even though it will be maybe a little bit more difficult to follow for the new people, it will be very nice for the people who know how to work with kinesiology. I'll have a look in the index to see if I've done most things. We still have left addictions and allergies. Let's work with allergies. Okay. There are many people that have an allergy to seafood, that can eat fish, but they cannot eat, say, mussels or shrimps. I kind of have the same, so maybe I can keep it to myself and keep it a little bit limited this time. I don't want to say that my problems are limited. I work on myself daily, and I think it's necessary, or I like it because I feel better afterwards. So I do eat fish, a lot of fish, and I love it. And fish, I think I can eat all kinds and they almost all feel well. Mussels in the Netherlands I can eat once a year, and then I've had enough, and then I cannot eat them again that year. When I'm in France, here the mussels are much smaller and they are grown in the sea. In the Netherlands they're grown in a river, a salty river. And so I think there's a difference. And the Dutch ones are really big, and here they're little. And here they combine them. Oh, you see my saliva going. they combine them with cream and with speck. So that's, how do you call that, speck? I think it's, lardon, but that's French. I think it's lard. And the taste is crazy. It's wonderful. And because of the combination with the cream and the meat, I can eat them very well, and I could eat them every week when I'm here in France. And I've been wanting to buy shrimps. I really like to do the thing where you open them and you eat them, and but it's 2 weeks now, and I walk in the supermarket and I cannot find shrimps that I can eat, so I leave them there. So I'm a little bit sensitive in that area. As a young child, I've been once very ill. We had a big birthday party, and we had what we call salades, so salads, different ones with meat and with fish, and I ate from both of them, and I ate also with shrimps, and that night I was very ill and I had to throw it all out. So in my memory, shrimps are dangerous. So what if I was working on myself, not as a client, but working on myself? I would have done the pace. Well, we've done it several times already. I'll just have some more water. I will do the pre-tests. We have done them several times. I want to know the massive reversal. So that's going well. And I want to know the psychological reversal. I want to overcome this cautiousness, this sensitivity for shrimps and mussels. No, I want to hold on to it. Yes. So we're going to tap, or at least I'm going to tap. So I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself, and I'm worthy. I think myself worthy completely, even though I am scared to eat mussels and shrimps. I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself, and I think myself worthy completely, even though I am scared to eat mussels and shrimps. I love my Sint-Jacobschelp. So that's the Saint-Jacques. I don't know how you say it. The Saint Jake clams, and they look like the shell of Shell, the big fuel company. I don't trust those guys either. So I'll do one more. Oh, and something that comes to mind in French, they're called bulots, and they're like slugs, and they're twisted, and they're this big. I don't trust them either. So it's piling up, guys. It's like a seafood restaurant with many things, and I only eat the crab, and I only eat the fish, and I only eat the eel, and I only eat the langoustine. Yeah, that's it. So I'll do it again. I love and accept myself. I respect myself, and I think myself worthy completely, even though I'm afraid to eat mussels and clams and slugs and Saint-Jacques and Bulot. Okay. There we go. So, I want to overcome my fear of eating mussels, slugs and Bulot and Saint-Jacques. I want to overcome my fear of eating mussels, slugs and Saint-Jacques and Bulot. Okay. It tests strong. Here I need to give some information about the muscle test. When a muscle test is strong for 50 or 51%, you'll have a strong muscle. That doesn't mean that the whole system for 100% agrees on this topic. So I think there's a percentage in me that doesn't really believe this. But I had 2 strong muscles. So now we're going to look. We're going to look in this life. We're going to look in the axis of the cross. Yes. So we're going to look in densities, in dimensions, in future lives. Yes. Or future generations. Through my first, my second, my third child. My third child is a boy. He has quite some allergies, and he doesn't eat mussels. He eats Saint-Jacques and he eats fish, and he has an allergy to egg. So I need to go straight to him. Yes. Okay. What can we do there? I'll be working with the modes. Interesting. I get the taste. I've eaten 2 eggs this morning. I feel the taste of boiled egg in my mouth. It can have like an iron-like taste. So, for him, I'm going through my modes. I need to do sips. So, I'll do that. That's a technique I know how to do. So, my hands are doing it. It's a very refined, energetical method to get imbalance balanced, that actually makes you almost unable to test. We call this powers of stress, and SIPS takes that away. So it's beautiful, beautiful system. I work with it a lot. I think in every balance I do, I work with SIPS. We'll now have to see if he sends me a message saying that he has eaten something that he has not eaten before. He has to be really careful, and with allergies, and you have to be careful because if some people just get their physical reactions like a rash or tinkling on the tongue, or swollen saliva, mucus, or maybe not feeling well and needing to vomit. But some people go into shock, and anaphylaxis is really dangerous. So people could go into shock and need it's called an EpiPen, with adrenaline to get your bloodstream pumping again and feed your organs. So he has a pen like that because a couple of months ago he had eaten a bun with some mayonnaise on it, so there was a little bit of egg, and that went wrong. Okay, I think this is enough. Very good. So for him, let's see, this test strong. Let me see. I need to do more for him. I can go back to the now moment. No, I need to go to his children. I need to look further in generations forward. Yes, through my firstborn, my secondborn, my thirdborn. So through him, we go back forth. How many generations from me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a boy, it's a girl. So 11 generations after my youngest and 12 after me, and it's a girl. And I'll go through the modes again. So I have my muscle test, and I'll do my combinations with my hands, and this way I'm not using the muscle test, but I feel it, and it's SIPS again. So for this girl, I'm doing SIPS. Of course, this is 12 generations after me, and we only have now the first generation after me. I do not know what the problems are of this girl, but I'm doing SIPS for her, so she will release tension and stress. If you only had stress release, you would do that, or just do nothing and wait for the moments So the trigger and the trauma to collapse waves to each other. I think this was enough. I'll just let go of her. We need to do more there. We need to do more there. No. We can come back to the now moment. Yes. So we go back to the now moment. Now moment. Yes. So if I think of eating mussels or shrimp or bulot. No, bulot we're not going to do. Or Saint-Jacques. Yes, I think I can have. Here you can buy in France in the supermarket. They have in the area where things are refrigerated, so under ice, you can buy a shell with the Saint-Jacques inside, and they put cheese on top of it. You see, I now like it. First I couldn't think of it, but now I think could be nice. And then you put it in an oven, and of course I have no oven, but I have ceramic pan with a lid, and in it becomes warm, so it's a bit like using an oven, and maybe I can have a try. Yeah. So I imagine myself making that, and the smell is fantastic, and then tasting it and eating it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours after, I still keep feeling good. So there's not a problem. There's no reaction to it. So I know in my mind I have eaten a Saint-Jacques mussel. Well, it's not a mussel. It's clam. So this is how you can work with allergies. Very good. And now we go to the last one, addictions. I'll have a little bit more sea salt. Maybe you want some too. And have a little bit more of water. Addictions. I'm being told to work on a chocolate addiction, which I don't have. I think I used to have it. I used to have a sugar addiction, but I don't have it anymore. Unless I drink coffee, cappuccino, with the cocoa on top, then I long for chocolate. If I don't have it, and I've not been drinking coffee for 2 months now, so I drink tea, then I have no longing for chocolate. But apparently we're going to work for it. So, I test. I have a chocolate addiction. No and yes. I have to explain this a little bit to you. It will be interesting as well. When I work with people, I most of the time work long distance. So I'm parked at the seaside, and so that's the best place for me in the best energy. And I work on my clients usually long distance, so they're in the Netherlands or they're in another country, and they have written me a WhatsApp or an email, and they say, Merel, can you work for me? I have these and these problems, and I'd like to feel like this again, so thank you for helping me. When will you be doing it? So I'll text them back. I'll do it this Friday or this Tuesday, this time, and when I'm done, I'll send you what I've typed. So the whole balance is being typed, and I explain what I've done, and I tell them what they can do themselves to feel better, or to cure themselves, to heal themselves. The first step I do before doing the pre-tests is testing how much they are balanced. So I use a percentage up to 100%. How much percent they are themselves. This means their body connected to their soul, and how much they have other souls controlling their lives. And this is probably where my imbalance of chocolate comes from. So if I would be testing me, I am 100% balanced. I'm 50% balanced, more than 50, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is what I find all the time when I wrote this and when I made the videos. I was still in a relationship with my former partner, and that relation stopped 3 years ago. And ever since, I have been trying to get loose energetically from him. In a relationship, people very often are 50% themselves and 50% the other. So their body is connected to 50% to their own soul and 50% to the soul of the partner. We didn't have this. I was very looking to not be 50% him. I was always working on being 100% myself. But the second he left me, he went to another woman with whom he, by the way, is now married. And they were intimate the first night. So that was 2 days after being with me for the last time. And I was still completely energetically intertwined with him. And then he was with her. So for 3 years now, day and night, I've been working to get myself free energetically from them. You call that entanglement. And I don't have a chocolate problem, but he does. And apparently I need to work on this and tell you guys that this is all possible. Because there's, if anything I can give to you with this system is that things are not black and white. Things are not easy, like I fell from the stairs and that's why I hurt my knee. There's so much around it and about it, and it can give you so much information, and there are so many places, times to go to, but also people to go to. So you imagine that I've worked on this day and night for the last 3 years to get free from those two people, because I need to get my life in order again, be aligned with the Most High. For me, that's Mother God, because my connection is best with her, and my Oversoul. After he left, my heart and my soul were in pieces and scattered, and my heart I could repair, but my soul I couldn't. So I had to fire her because she was killing me. She was like drowning me through the trenches. And so since then I've been living under my Oversoul, which is fine because we are very good. We're a good team. And every day I work to be 100% myself. So I still have some problems, like the one you see here. And I have some problems with my teeth. And this all needs to heal. And I fight for it every day. So this balance will be about a chocolate allergy. Probably he has an allergy. But it's also an addiction. And very often people that have a chocolate addiction are actually allergic to it. People that have a smoking addiction are actually addicted to it. The people that drink alcohol too much, addiction, they are actually allergic to it. So maybe he has an allergy to cocoa or chocolate. No, cocoa. But I'm working on me. And I don't have it. But I still show it. So, I'm 98% balanced. I'm 98% myself. I'm 2% him. Okay, I'm 2% her? No, I'm 2% him. Okay, let's see what we may do. We may work in this life right now. No. Oh, I want to overcome this allergy. Yes. I want to overcome this addiction. Yes. Okay. We cannot work in this life, so we go to the axis. We work in densities. We work in dimensions. We work in generations ahead. We work in lives. We work in generations backward. In my mother's line, in my father's line. We go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lives. I was a woman. Yes, I know this life very well because I've been working on it very much. Because in that life, he and I were together. We were married. We had 12 children. Was not on this planet. And even though we were human, it was another planet. Okay, yes, let it sink in. And I thought we had a very good life. And then she comes by, the same person he's with now, and he's gone. And many awful things happen. He does return to me, but he dies very soon after that. And I'm completely a mess and broken and lost my trust and my health, and many things have gone wrong there. So we're back at that life. Let's see what we can do. Can we work here with stress release? Yes. So I think of that life. Then I have 2 week tests. That's not so strange. I have a chocolate addiction. No. I have a chocolate allergy. No. Okay. But we can work with 2 week tests. So I'm first going to do this. I'll need it. And this one. And now that's the crystal. I'm opening my legs. So I keep this all the time. And then I do the cross because I'm going to do eye rotations and the emotion mode. So here we go. For that life. Taking all the stress off. This also shows, guys, that it's not always a quick fix or a one-time fix. Sometimes you need to do things multiple times to finally get it done with. Okay, so for that life, 12 generations back in my father's line, this is strong. With the emotion mode, it's strong. If I think of chocolate, it's strong. Okay, we need to do more in this life. No, we could come back to the now moment. Yes. So, in the now moment, I have an addiction to chocolate or to an allergy to chocolate. No. I am now 100% myself. Yay! Yay! Jump for joy. Yes. And I'm 100% connected to my oversoul. Yes. And this I want to keep. I want to become less than 100% myself again. No. So this was a psychological reversal that I'm checking because every day I fall back. And I don't fall back because of me having a reversal, but there's a soul contract between him and me, and we were supposed to be together this life. And it went in another direction. But on a higher level, on a spiritual level, my oversoul says, this is not going in the right way. So, in a way, the contract is, even though I've cut it up in a million pieces many times, it's still active. Can we do something about it? Yes. Can we do something about it in the now moment? No. We go into densities in dimensions. Very nice. I think we go to the 12th dimension, but hey, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. He and I, when we had our relationship, we were connected in the 12th dimension. So many things for me, when I correct them, are in the 12th dimension. Let's see what we can do with stress release. Going through my modes? Okay. And then doing stress release. Very nice. So, I do brain integration. For the 12th dimension. I do it a couple of times. You don't normally have to, but I feel I have to. So the 12th dimension is fine now. Can I go back to the now moment? No. I go further. No. I do more in the 12th dimension. No. I just need to wait a second to let the energy, so the waves can collapse against each other. Ooh. Okay, so I've done enough in the 12th dimension. Yes, I go higher in numbers in the dimensions. I go back to the now. So 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3. 3. The third dimension. I live in the third dimension. No. He lives in the third dimension. Yes. Here is the addiction to chocolate. Yes. The addiction is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to overcome this addiction. Yes. He wants to overcome this addiction. No. I don't work on him. He needs to work on himself. So what I do in a situation like this, I look up and I look at God and I say, God, I give this to you. I cannot work on this gentleman. I don't have the permission to do so, and he is responsible for himself. So I give this situation to you. I no longer wish to be addicted or allergic to chocolate. I don't need this allergy. It's not mine. I give it back to you. I give all problems that are not mine and that belong to him, I give them to you. And all problems that are not mine and belong to her, I give them all to you. Here you go. Thank you so much for dealing with it. So, now in the third dimension, you see, there are things I cannot do. I will not do. It's not right to do. So I don't do them. I want to be pure. Pure chocolate. Very nice. So I've given this to God, and God will know what to do with it. God is very, very, very intelligent. So for the third dimension, I'm fine. I need to work on contracts. I need to work on chocolate. I need to work on addictions. I need to work on allergies. I need to work on being 100% myself. I've done everything I needed to do in the third dimension. Yes. Yes. Okay, I can go back to the now moment. Yes, so I go back to the now moment. I feel good. I have addictions. I have addictions to chocolate. I have allergies to chocolate. I have an allergy to him, to her, to them. No. I'm 100% myself. Okay? Always well? Yeah. I need to do more? No? Always done? Okay. Guys, I think we're there. Let's have a look in the index. Yeah, I've done everything. How are you feeling? What a lot of information. I have no clue. I cannot see this without glasses. How much time the video has lasted. I think it's about 2 hours. Let me know in the Facebook group. There's a Facebook group that's called Deprogramming. Part 2, Healothers. Please go there and say you want to enter, and I'll see it on my phone, and when it takes too long, send me a message and I'll let you in. You can ask your questions there. You can share the results of your balances. First work on yourself, and when you're really, really balanced, that's what you saw also with me. If I'm working for other people and other energies, it's so good that I have such a good fundament, such a good I'm so grounded in my balance that I am not completely swept away by what the balance is doing to somebody else. I do clean my hands or shake it off I did have to protect myself a bit from the outer world. And still, this is the best place for me to be. If you make choices in your life, think, is this for the highest good? For my highest good, for the highest good. And then you actually cannot go wrong. I would love to hear how you are working with this material in your life, and with yourself, with your family, with your company, with your clients. And I do hope I will see you for the next chapter. I first have to upload all this and ask Ron to make sales pages on my website, selfenizer.com. And then I'll dive into deprogramming part 3, Heal Your Potential. For now, with the first 2, we still have been working kinda on being human and this life and this body and allergies and addictions. But here we're going to add divinity and our souls and our potential and 12 chakras, not 7, and our DNA, not the 2 strands, but the 12 or 24 or 36 or even more. It's not junk, it's energy. They cannot find it. It's not material. That's why they cannot find it. So when I work with my clients, 98 to 95% of the time, I always give them this balance and this balance. I think I'm going to leave it here. Just let me know how you feel, and wishing to see you in the next book and the next training, and wishing you a lot of luck and beautiful insights and beautiful developments in your life, because you're doing this training. So be well. I love you.